Welcome back. Thanks for listening to Townsquare Sunday. It's been said that the Guatemalan community in New Bedford is the city's hidden community. I think the Hispanic community is probably a pretty close second to that. With me to talk about the Hispanic community and to some extent the Guatemalan community as well is Reverend David Soto. He is with the Clear Vision Congregation. He's also working as part of a Latino cultural center in Fall River, headquartered in Fall River. Yes. He spends most of his time in New Bedford. Reverend Soto, it's good to see you again.
It's great to see you, and I thank you so much for this privilege. It's an honor to be here with you.
Well, thank you very much. Hispanic community, you and I were talking about some of these issues back in the 90s.
Yes.
And has it changed much?
There have been some changes as far as the demographics of the Latino community in New Bedford. We used to be predominantly from Puerto Rico. The community has changed drastically from that to people that come from Central America, Guatemalans, Salvadorians, Hondurans, Mexicans.
Still too much poverty for my liking. I mean, some of these folks are... they're poor folks.
Yeah,
especially the Guatemalan folks who've just come here.
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely overrepresented in the area of families of low income, whether it's from Guatemala, whether it's from Honduras. And I believe that a lot of that is because of the I won't say lack of employment, but the underemployment of Latinos in the city.
I know a lot is made of Guatemalan folks who are employed in the fishing industry. Mm-hmm. They cut fish.
Yes.
I've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in a processing plant. They do that job without complaint. Mm-hmm. They're there every day.
Yes. The Guatemalan community is a very hard-working community. I mean, just about every person that I know that comes from Guatemala, they're seeking employment. They'll do whatever they have to be able to have some money, bring it to the family. You see them when you walk at 5 o'clock in the morning in their bicycles, walking. They are hard workers. They're here to work and not to commit crimes.
There's been a great deal of suggestion about the Latino community and crime. There are people who, in fact, blame Latinos for the bulk of the crime in the city. Is that fair?
It's definitely, it's not only not fair, I think it's very ignorant. If we were to look at the caseloads and we were to look at last names of people, look at the news when things come up. Last names are not people of the Latino community / Hispanic / Puerto Rican / Guatemalan or Hondurans or whatever. I think that people that usually are not able to speak for themselves are the ones that get to pick on and being put the blame on things that go on.
You're not saying that the Latino community commits no crime. I mean that.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean. In New Bedford, we cannot compare the Latino community with the Latino community in Los Angeles. You know, in Los Angeles, you might see a lot of issues with gangs and things that go on. And to use that data to demonize or crucify the Latino community in New Bedford is not proper. And I think it's actually racist or discriminatory. We cannot do that. There are people that we've seen them. I mean, if we get it from all the area. I think that a lot of the issues has to do with the issue of poverty. People trying to, just get what they need, or some people just don't have a good heart, and they will commit crime.
What's the Hispanic community in New Bedford that you know? Who are they?
Okay. Me, the Puerto Rican community, me being born in Puerto Rico, of course, there's that there. My wife is Mexican. You know, we've been married 20 years. We're going on to 20. She's from Mexico. You know, we met in mentions in Mexico. She's Mexican. A large Guatemalan community that I know with. In my church, we have people from Honduras, from Salvador. So the Latino community, get united when it comes to the issue of language. I mean, we are very diverse. But the community that I know is usually people that are hardworking, people that want to stay out of trouble, and people that are extremely respectful of other people.
You know, the Guatemalan community, the police have reached out to the Guatemalan community.
Yes.
To try and get them to come forward and report crimes. The scenario is kind of well known. They are victims of crime. They don't trust the police for whatever reason. I think the biggest reason is they feel that they're going to be reported, that they're going to be deported, and their lives are going to be upside down and go back to a place which is far more violent in the city of New Bedford.
Yeah, and you're correct that the police department in New Bedford has done a great job in working with Latinos in the city, especially the Guatemalans, with what happens. Unfortunately, even though they may be promised that them coming up forward, nothing will happen, sometimes it's sneaky because it might not be the intention, but sometimes other government agencies might force these agencies to provide information. Sure. So that's why people are pretty scared.
You're listening to Reverend David Soto. He's with the Clear Vision Congregation, and he works with a cultural center in Fall River, Latino Cultural Center, and spends a great deal of his time in New Bedford as well. You and I were talking earlier about crime and off the air about education. I had one more question about this relationship with the police. Are police still attempting to build a relationship with others besides Guatemalans?
I believe so. I believe that we have, like I said, I believe we have a good police department in the city. I believe that they're willing to work. I believe that they are caring. There might be one or two people that are out there, but that's everywhere. But I think that they are working to help people. I've seen them, get out of their cars to push a car from a person, a Latino person, whether they're Hondurans or Salvadorians, I'm not sure. But I've seen things like that. Them doing this, it's, I think we have a good police department, and they are working to build that bridge.
Education. Is the education system serving Hispanic kids? You and I talked about this before we went on the air. Mm-hmm. More than 20 years ago, we talked about the Department of Justice coming into New Bedford.
Yes.
And really hammering the city.
Yes.
Because of its lack of, practices that I'm sure they would call discriminatory.
Yes.
I'm not sure the city would call it that, but what happened was that a lot of Hispanic kids, a lot of minority kids, were in the lower levels of education.
Yes, the city did accept their responsibility and did admit that was happening. Whether they felt that they were doing it intentionally or not, that's up to them. But yeah, this was the time when junior high school started at 7. Kids in the 6th grade would be leaving at the same grade level as everybody else. After the first year in the 7th grade, the grade levels would be extremely low. And it was when we looked at the numbers and the placements, kids were being placed in low-level classes. So the bar was lower. It was expected less of them. They learned less. So by the time they got to high school, Juan did not know how to read. And it wasn't because he couldn't, but it was because he was put in low levels. And that was the big problem. We still have problem with education because there is that perception that if a person speaks with an accent, maybe they also think with an accent. So they might be slower. But no, education is still an issue that is really hurting our Latino community because the services are not as well as they should be provided.
But kids are making it through New Bedford High School.
Yes.
They're doing well.
Yes.
Some,
we got a large group that is really working. See, the Latino community has different parts to it. The community from Puerto Rico is a community that has been here already for a number of generations. Some of those kids, they're fighters. They will stand up and they will do things. People that come from Central America, fairly new, now they're more quiet. They might not stand up for themselves. And the parents don't know what's going on. So they might not be as forceful in getting things done. But each one of these groups, they will push and they will try to better themselves through education. It's just that sometimes the process that is in place is not really something that's a difference between being uneducated and miseducated, and that's the issue with the Latino community.
Miseducated.
Miseducation.
You have worked with the families from Puerto Rico who relocated here following Hurricane Maria. How are they doing?
They're doing okay. They're doing okay. For the most part, they're doing well. The United Way has done a great job, by the way, also working with them. I applaud their efforts. They've been doing great. A lot of the issue is that a lot of the families that had came, and there were family members here, and worked with them. Sometimes the expectation is that because someone comes here, that services will be there available for them, such as housing, and we know that housing, there's a shortage even for the ones that are here. So I understand it gets difficult. Many of them are going back. Many are going back because, who would not want to be in Puerto Rico? It's beautiful out there. Once the houses are repaired, things are in place, lighting, the gas and electricity, everything, they go back. Others that I've been working with, for example, I know 4 ladies that came here because they had heart attacks. They will be here until everything is taken care of, but they're also mentioning that the health system here is so much better than over there. Why would they want to go back? Other children that have issues with not able to learn well, the parents said, no, we would rather stay here because compared to what they had over there, the children are making a progress. So you see, it's just everything is relative. So many are staying because of certain issues. Many are leaving because they need to.
And all right, so most of those families found work?
No, I won't say that they found work. As far as I know, they're still in the issue of, repairing themselves. No, some have found work, but yeah, the issue of work is still an issue.
Short time left. What can this community do to break down those barriers?
Educate themselves, learn, try to understand that the Latino community, this is our backyard. The nation's our neighbors. Let's learn what's going on in there and realize that they don't have to act like Europeans to be part of the United States.
Well said. Okay. Thank you very much. My guest has been Reverend David Soto. He is with the Clear Vision Congregation and also the Latino Cultural Center in Fall River. He spends a lot of his time here in New Bedford, of course. Been around here for a long time. Good to see you.
It's great being here. Thank you so much.
All right. And good luck with your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's it for Townsquare Sunday this week. Thanks for listening. The program doesn't happen without contributions from our production director, Jason Kent, and digital editor, Casey Sylvia. Thanks to both of them. Please join us next week for Townsquare Sunday. Until then, have a great week and a wonderful Sunday.